Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today?
Morning.
Me.
My bad.
Oh yeah, I also need to go ahead and put that up for today. Gotta make sure we get that spoiler notice going.
Oh, we do. We do need a spoiler notice.
Yep. We going
Why do we need a spoiler notice? What topic are we going to talk about
we're
today?
gonna talk about the MCU's newest movie, The Eternals.
Yeah. Oh man, I am so excited to talk about this
I am
because,
too.
I've had a few days to kind of
Sit on it.
think about it. Yeah, sit on it. Get over like the initial excitement and just truly think about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm super excited to talk about it. And also, if you hear a bird, I apologize. That is my bird Oreo,
Your brat.
my adorable brat. Okay,
So we went and saw Eternals on the big screen Thursday.
we did.
So it's me, you, and
Um,
my husband.
yes, and I wanted to before we jump into all of us and our theorizing and what we do.
Mm,
I do want to ask you one question.
yeah,
What is your personal review? Like, did you like it? Did you not? What are your I'm just going to go ahead and ask you your opinions on how, if you like it or not. We can go into details in a bit, but like, did you like it?
I liked it. Like it has its flaws. It's not my favorite MCU movies.
Hmm.
There were things that we can get into a minute that I thought were extremely unnecessary and could have been completely cut out, and it would have not affected the movie at all and only improved
Hmm.
the runtime of the entire movie because it's a 2 hour and 53-minute movie.
I didn't realize it was 2 hours. It didn't feel like it. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's what I think was really good about it is we have like 8 to 9 characters that we're getting backstories and information about, and it's not overwhelming. They did such a good job with it compared to something like um Suicide Squad, where you had characters that you were focusing on very heavily, but you weren't really giving us a lot of information about everybody else.
Right.
Or you were giving us too much information about the wrong people. Uh,
Okay.
so I think the Eternals did a very good job with that. It didn't really feel weighed down too much in most parts. Again, you saw me kind of be like, kind of freak out in the theater. I'm like, this isn't necessary.
Yes.
None of this is necessary. Like, I get it, but this isn't necessary.
Right.
You could have saved several minutes by just cutting a lot of this down or cutting it out. I I like it far better than I liked Captain Marvel. I think they
Oh,
did a
that I
really
agree with. Yes.
but it's hard not uh to like it as much as like the original Avengers, like our classic OG Avengers like Thor, Captain
Uh,
America, things like that. Um but I don't think it's a bad job for introducing so many characters and so many things right now. My husband
hmm
thinks that it should have been split in two. I don't think it's like your classic Avengers where it
Needs to be split in two? I don't think so.
right. They could have cut it down a little bit.
Right.
What about you? What do you think of it?
So initially, I said I loved it
Yeah.
because,
Hmm.
uh, but I think it was because of the excitement over the ending. So I was
Oh,
like, okay,
yeah.
taking that away. Did what did I think about the original film, all in all?
Yeah.
I thought it was a good sci-fi action flick. That's the best way I can describe it. Because
You're not wrong.
in all
It's not
honesty,
really like it didn't come across as
I didn't say fantasy.
fantasy.
I said sci-fi. I said sci-fi.
Sci-fi
Sci-fi
is
action.
scientific fantasy.
Yes, but I thought, to me, it is very much sci-fi than
Mhm.
more than just the fantasy aspect, but more the sci-fi because one, you're playing with, well, an alien god type thing. They're not technically, wait, can we go into spoilers? Yeah, we're just gonna go into spoilers.
Yeah, we've
Spoilers already
already
up.
given like plenty of warning.
Um, they're not technically human. They're trying to be human, and it reminds me of all those early 2000s film like the AI and iRobot and all of that, where you have like artificial intelligence and or sentient beings that aren't quite human, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
more machine. But anyway, I really liked it as like a sci-fi film.
Mhm.
I agree with you on some of the things that should have been taken out, but I also understand why they didn't, you know.
Right.
But I also I get why it should have been taken out. Some of the characters I wish was fleshed out a little more,
Mhm.
but some of them are just fucking fantastic, man.
Right.
Like, I was I was surprised. I guess in talking about actors, um, they of course had big name actors like Selma Hayek and Angelina Jolie,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Love them. I love them as actresses. They are just such an inspiration. I do love their acting. I love everything about them. Both of them. They're fantastic. And I'm a fan.
Right.
I was shocked in the best way, I guess like a pleasant surprise, that they weren't the main focus of the movie.
Right. So we saw the first like theatrical trailer, I guess is the best term for it, when we went and saw Shang-Chi in theaters.
Yes.
And so we see Angela, like, I don't recall seeing Selma Hayek in that trailer, honestly.
I do remember Salma Hayek being in it, but I like only in like maybe a frame.
Right, but mostly it was focusing on Angelina Jolie, so it made you
Exactly.
really think that she was going to be a main character.
Yes. I mean, technically she was, but not in the.
The
She was
story
part of
wasn't
the
about
Eternals.
her. She's not the
No, it
protagonist.
wasn't. It was fantastic how they did that because it was Gemma Han, I think, if I was right. Let me gotta look this up.
Is it Gemma or Gemma?
Gemma. How it's like the GIF or GIFs kind of thing. I don't
Well, like,
know.
there's Gemini. So it just,
This one is. I have no idea. It reminds me of the GIF kind of thing. Um. However, hi Oreo. Enough. No, baby. No. Um. Her character,
yes,
who is
Cersei.
Cersei,
Hmm.
she did a fantastic job, and like, and the fact that it was her like coming to, it was kind of like I guess a coming of age story of her um, stepping up to be the leader
Hmm.
and trying to take, figuring herself out. Why did they do this? What should she do as the leader?
Hmm.
And everything. I love that they portrayed her character. I did have a, how do I explain it? I did have qualm about that though,
Okay.
because I think that was the one thing that didn't flow as well as I thought it should.
Yeah.
Um, was her coming into that role of being a leader,
Hmm.
because there was ample opportunities, but it was overshadowed by
Everyone
Icarus.
else.
Well, yeah, well, yes, but also Icarus and stuff. But then they made him be like some white. It was so okay. I wish they gave her more of a chance because Icarus ended up being some wino. You know what I mean? Just a
Yeah.
whiny little baby. And I get now why, because of what he did. But
Mm.
most of the time, everyone was like, "Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna follow Icarus," even though they were like, "Oh no, we're behind Cersei this whole time." They weren't. They were all following Icarus. Like
Yeah.
everyone, even Cersei. You know. And And it wasn't until like the middle of the movie, out of nowhere, when she finds the truth and everything,
Mm.
that she's like, no, not even that.
It was
Because
closer
even when
towards
she
the
found out
end.
the
It was
truth,
like,
yeah, it came out of nowhere, kind of, because it focused more of her relationships with all the other people, just
yeah,
getting the gang back together and not really on her position as a leader.
yeah, and there's no real point where it's just like she doesn't argue with Icarus, she doesn't like disagree, she doesn't actually really have any support from anybody else.
Not really, no.
Because you can see like there's like kind of like established relationships amongst the Eternals between themselves and
Yeah,
stuff.
yes.
And you can see that they'll go support their their pairing or whatever, like however they've paired them. But no one really, and they'll talk to Cersei, but no one really goes to Cersei.
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
the pronunciation for Gemma Chan is Gemma.
So it's Gemma.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, um, and I think that's what makes it one of the a weak movie and why it's not really high on my favorite MCU movies is because they did make her story very weak. Like specifically
Hmm.
her story is very weak. While we get like Druig and Makari and we get Faustus and we get like Kingo, like all these other characters have very strong stories, even when they're
Yeah,
super side characters, but when we get to Cersei, it's super weak.
kind of weak. Yeah.
And I think a problem with that is we're told a lot about Cersei in flashback and not in present
Ah,
day. Does that
well,
make sense?
I will say some things about present day that that I can see. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you saw in the flashbacks, um, especially like at the start of civilizations, how
Mm-hmm.
much she loved humanity,
Mm-hmm.
helping them out, doing all of that stuff. But in the present time, she focused more on herself, addicted to social media, all of that stuff, you
Right.
know. So that was kind of a disconnect on her love of humans. Although I will say, her her boyfriend, I guess,
Yeah. Dane? Dean?
Dane,
Dane.
Dane.
Kit
So Dane
Harrington.
was a very pleasant, huh?
Kit Harrington.
Yes, he was a
Disney.
pleasant surprise. I love Jon Snow.
I think I was kind of excited to see him because I like okay, you're bringing in Jon Snow, so you're bringing in Jon Snow into this. It's like oh, we're getting like a really big powerhouse kind of group going. We got Gemma Chan, we got Selma Hayek, we got
Oh yes,
what is
Kit
it,
Harington.
Angelina Jolie, like we're getting, and then we get Kit Harington, and it's like, okay, so like we're gonna get
Yeah.
like a lot of interactions between these guys. They're gonna get a lot of screen time. Nope.
No. Well, okay, Kit is understandable, and you only know this because of the end, right?
Yeah, and
Only
it's like
the
we got
ending. But we're not gonna talk.
spoilers up about this. We know like
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about the ending just yet because
okay, okay.
that was to me, and I hate to say it, the strongest part of the films. And I remember talking to you about it. Like they just unloaded all of this stuff at the very end,
Yeah,
for the coming films, and like it kind of gave me whiplash because of the story progressing up to that point.
I
But
mean,
we'll get to
I
that. We'll get to
think
that.
Kit's role was already kind of alluded at the very beginning when she gave him like yeah, when she gave him the signet ring with the family crest on it,
Yes.
true MCUs like who know Dane and like know his character and stuff would have seen that coming. Like there are so many Marvel characters, like especially within the event like I know X-Men or I used to know X-Men better than I knew like Avengers. And
Yeah.
I barely scratched the surface of the X-Men. So the fact that
Mm-hmm.
we're getting into like these C and D tier characters of the Avengers, it's like he's going to be there because there's a fan group for this character
Yes, yes, yes,
who would
yes.
know immediately based off that signet ring who this person is. Um
Yeah.
so it's like I think it was a nod to those. I would agree that it is a bit of a whiplashy kind of situation with the reveal of
Hmm.
who he is at the very end. Well, not really the reveal, but kind of like we had to go look it
We
up.
looked that shit up. We looked that shit up immediately. We were like, okay, let's look at his name because his name is Dane Whitman. And
Whitman.
we're
Yep.
like, who's Dane Whitman? And I was like, who the fuck is Dane Whitman? And I looked it up and I was like, oh,
Oh,
oh, but we're going to reveal that later.
yeah.
Um,
So I think for those
so,
who knew who Dane Whitman was, weren't surprised by that and could take the whiplash a little bit easier than we did because there were other things as well that we didn't
oh
realize
my
until
God.
Friday.
Yeah, yeah. Which we'll get into that as
Again, we'll
well. Which
get to
I
it.
feel like, yeah, ADHD, but I feel like the ending, because of what we discovered on Friday, when we looked it up, looking actors, like we went down to that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we will admit, I will personally admit, as an ignorant white woman, I thought the actor who played Gilgamesh, Don Lee, was the same actor who played Wong because they
I
look
did too. I
very
did too.
similar. Who
Yeah.
is what, Benjamin Wong? I'm pretty sure is his first name. His last name is Wong.
Yeah. Oh,
Um.
yeah. His last name is long.
Wong. Yeah, Benedict Wong. So
But yeah,
there's
I
that.
agreed. I also made that mistake as well.
Yeah, so we went and looked that information up as well. Um,
Okay.
but now we know that Benedict Wong and Don Lee are not the same character or
They're not the
actors.
same character. Mm-mm.
Mm.
I will say though, let me ask, since we're getting into the actors,
Yeah,
I want to ask your opinions on each individual actor, or not actor, character.
character.
So we'll start with Gilgamesh
Gilgamesh. I
because
loved Gilgamesh. I think they did a great job with him. I thought like they did some really funny scenes with him that were hilarious.
yeah,
And he did like really serious moments too that were great.
oh my God, because he became the guardian of Thena
Hmm.
because of what happened to,
Thena.
well, yeah, to Thena. Um, and I
Thena
wanted to
is
start with
played by
Gilgamesh.
Angelina Jolie, by the way.
Yes, yes. But I love how he was not afraid of her. He accepted her, even though she had the madness something,
Yeah.
mad something. I completely forgot. But she had madness. And, she would attack everybody. And they're like, oh, it's an incurable disease, all of this stuff. Where everyone else was afraid of her, he straight up stepped up to the plate and was like, I will take care of you. And that just showed how much I adore him. Like, I
Yeah.
adore him. Love him. Great character. And we're not, he lives, he's okay, A-okay. Nothing bad ever happened to him. Same with Ajax. Nothing bad ever happened to her. She was great. Summer Hayek will live forever. All
Hmm.
that stuff. Nothing bad ever. But yeah, I loved his character. I love that their perspective superpowers or whatever really complimented them. You know what I mean?
I
It
think it's
complimented
because
their character.
I think it's because it is like it's Marvel writing very good stuff, and I'm talking about like Marvel comics writing very good characters.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's like when you're watching the movie, you understand that our Eternals for the MCU are inspiration for Earth's greatest stories. So Athena
Yeah.
is Athena, the goddess of war. She is the
Yes.
inspiration for the goddess of war, Gilgamesh. So um wait, I don't remember which one that is. The Epic of Gilgamesh. I was trying to
Yeah.
think of the Iliad and the Odyssey, and then you have Icarus who flew too close to the sun. Like all these characters are, or all these Eternals are inspirations for these myths.
Yes.
Um,
Because I mean, the moment they landed on Earth, they were revered as gods and or like these. It's just they were revered. You know.
mhm.
Hey, hey, none of that. I'm sorry, my bird.
All of it. Do it,
So
Oreo.
yeah, yeah. So and I will also say I think that the legends and the myths and like all of that is Sprite's doing because Sprite is the storyteller of the group. You
Yeah.
know, she told the stories so that their history could be passed down. And it's interesting to see. Well, I will also get into Sprite's character
Mhm.
that each individual superpower they had, falls into their perspective legends
Right.
because they're all legends. And um, that's how we would view them. In today's in modern era, that would make so much sense.
Right.
No,
The
okay,
one person I'm not super familiar with is Kingo. Like I understand
I
Druid
don't.
is kind of like the like would be interpreted as Druid in the modern
Yeah,
term. So I'm very confused and curious about Kingo that I haven't taken time to look at his inspiration.
same, same. Because we had Kingo and what was Druid's counterpart? It starts with an M, right?
Makari.
Makari
God, I love
and
Makari.
Fastus.
Like I
I do love
honestly think
Makari.
Makari might be my favorite character next to Gilgamesh.
Oh my god! Wait, so are you saying that what was it? Kingo wasn't your favorite?
Okay, I love Kingo. He's gonna have a special place in my heart. But like Makari though, she's
Oh,
fantastic. She's so
I will have.
wonderful. And how can you not love Gilgamesh?
I love Gilgamesh, but I think Fastos was the character that I
That
really
stole your
appreciated
heart?
the most. I loved Fastos because, you know, can we get into his character for a little
Absolutely. We
bit?
can get into his character. He is wonderful. And
Okay.
his actor was great. I love his actor so
Oh my
much.
God. So at the start of the film, everyone is showing off what
Oh.
they can do, what their purpose is or what their superpowers are. And his is the power of invention. He can create all of these inventions. And he shows such pride in his work. He was already doing the steam powered, engine
Engine, yeah.
when there weren't even when the plow wasn't even created, and they're like,
We
you need to
get
call.
time frames of this. It's like he was creating the steam engine while they were still in Babylon.
Yes. And so they're like, you need to calm the fuck down. They're not ready for this yet, But you see the pride he has in his work and his superpowers. He loves what he does, right?
Right.
Fast forward to Hiroshima, World War II,
Mhm.
and the atomic bombings.
Yes.
And everyone before that, they were like, oh, we need to go find Fastos. But they're like, oh, Fastos has lost faith in humanity.
Mhm.
And then they do the flashback because of the atom bomb.
Yes.
And you see him sitting, spoilers, but you see him sitting in the ruins. And his breakdown broke my heart because of how much he loved creating these inventions for humans. He
Mhm.
had such a positive view of them, wanting them to thrive and grow. But when he saw that, he's like, I fucking hate humans. I helped them do this. I created this. They don't deserve to live. All of this stuff. Like, it broke my heart. So, and the fact that anyone who would see the devastation of what an atom bomb can do, I feel like would agree, right?
Right.
That's just heartbreaking. And then you see him with the family, with the husband and child.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, Bastos, oh, Bastos. That's just, I'm like, you finally found happiness after being literally rock bottom, hating humanity. That man, his husband, had to be someone incredibly special to bring
Who
that
was
spark of,
incredibly special because it's like he walks in while Faustus and Cersei and Icarus are all talking, and he's like, "No, you're gonna go help save the world."
yeah. And he's like, but what about you? What about the family? Like, I don't want to do this. And he's like, nah, you're going to go out. You're going to do this. And I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, you were losing your shit next to me.
And not only that, can we also talk about the representation? Because
Oh my
his
god,
husband,
yes,
his
absolutely.
husband,
Go into it, girl.
yeah, I was like, his husband was a Middle Eastern man.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, so you have prospectively all races in the film. You have Middle
Mhm.
Eastern, you have Black, you have Asian, you have white, you have uh what is it, Indian, like all of this. It was a delight. And not
Okay,
only that,
let's get into it. So we have Cersei, our like protagonist. She's Asian. We
yes,
have Ajax, Selma Hayek,
yes,
who is
who is,
Latina, correct?
yes, Latino, Hispano, I think.
Okay. Then we have Faustus, who is a
Yeah.
black man. We have
Mm-hmm.
Makari, who is at least a black woman, most likely a mixed woman.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then we have Kingo, who is Indian. We
Yes.
have Gilgamesh, who is Asian. I think the actor
Asian.
is specifically Korean. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have, I think that's it because we have Icarus.
No, 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 no. Could I also mention that in the like throughout the ages, through the flashbacks, they portrayed the civilizations,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And the actors that they put were just like the fucking they had, oh my god, I couldn't get over it. So the Tenochtitlan
mm-hmm.
era, where it's the great Aztec, you know, kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time when they all separated. They actually have people who looked like fucking indigenous Latinos in there. And I was like, fuck yeah, represent. And then of course they had the Spaniards who came to conquer them, right?
Right.
Like
You're,
and they looked like European. And I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. And then of course the civilizations of Babylon and what was
Mesopotamia.
it? Mesopotamia, all of that. They followed through with they didn't whitewash like early Hollywood would do. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And even while we're traveling around the world, we don't get a whole lot of like white people. Like we're in England for a little bit. We're not like overrun with white English people. We
No.
have a variety. Like we ended up in India for a while. We had a whole ass Bollywood moment and it's like,
I loved it.
yes.
I loved it. And so not only that, you also had like what was it? You're going to fucking, was it North Dakota? South Dakota?
Right.
And you're like, oh God, who's gonna be in South Dakota? Oh
Selma
nope, it's fucking
Hayek.
Salma Hayek.
That's it.
And I love it. I loved it. I think it was such a maybe for me, you know, like a cultural thing just to see so many races there. And it the way that no one really focused on them. Oh crap.
Right. They didn't make a big
Like
deal out of it.
they didn't make a big deal out of it. Everyone was just like, yeah, this is normal. This is how the world works. They didn't
Yep.
focus on their prospective race because technically they're all alien, but like they were like, yeah, this is just human. Even the whole Bollywood thing,
Yeah.
I
This
just like,
you said it. It is an accurate representation or as accurate as it can be in a 2 hour and 53-minute movie while doing flashbacks and character development. It is like a human experience across the board.
And it's wonderful. I loved it. You know, because a lot of people complain that, oh, there's, I think it's like the just the representation in Hollywood that
Yeah.
I really made me enjoy the film because they're like, yeah, you can actually have all these actors of mixed races and still have a fucking good film. You
Yeah.
know, Hollywood, you're doing good, at least with this film, and bringing in more mixed races to portray characters like this because I want more of that.
Yes.
I really like that. And it all blended well together. Loved it. Loved everything about it. But those I think are the only strong feelings I have in terms of the film. Because now we can talk about what we didn't like about it
Okay.
so much. But Fastos, love him. My favorite character.
Yes. He was so wonderful. Like these weren't like really like single dimensional or two dimensional like characters. They're like
Mhm.
there was a lot of depth to them. Like oh my god, like Kingo, I love
I
like
love him.
I loved him. It was so good. And then that it's he was kind of like a peacock who's very like
I love it
frilly.
though.
He was a little bit
Yes.
on the frilly side, but it's just like he sits down and is talking to Makari with his whole heart, and you can see that, and I love that.
Not only just Makari, but Sprite as well. Because remember that
Oh
interaction they
yeah.
had where
It
it's just
that
you
he could
left me.
actually see how they are, and I love that.
I loved it too. Like it's so good.
And he's like,
Like he
"How can you
knew.
not notice this about Sprite? Like how?"
Yeah.
He says that several times. It's like, "How can you not see this about Sprite?"
Yeah.
Which is legitimate and fair because it was not very well established in the flashbacks.
No, it wasn't.
So we had to be told and not shown.
Mm-hmm. Because he was the one who described the Peter Pan analogy to her, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
And fucking loved it, man. I loved it. And like, shit, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish they'd given Sprite, like, kind of given Sprite a non-binary. Because we have theories we see with, um, okay, I guess it was kind of necessary. There was a sex scene between Circe and Icarus, quote unquote sex
Mhm.
scene. And I'm just like, this is not necessary. This is just drawing out this flashback that's unnecessary. But we see a heterosexual relationship between a man, like a heterosexual relationship, like actual sexual
Mhm.
relationship. Then we see a hetero non-sexual romance between Gilgamesh
Yes.
and Thena. Then we see Fastus and his husband in
Wait,
a
would you
gay.
say that? So, would you say that Gilgamesh and Athena had a romantic relationship? Because I would think that it was completely platonic in a more
Mm,
of a.
I mean, it doesn't have to be sexual to be romantic.
Well, I
How
didn't
they
find. Okay,
looked at
so
each other and how they touched each other implied that it was romantic.
I didn't pick it up as romantic. I
Well, you
picked it up
also
as
didn't pick up that Glimmer and Bo from She-Ra were gonna end up in a like a romantic relationship.
well, first of all, they didn't really imply that until the final season, but we're not going to get into that. Because like I again, I have qualms about that one. But in this particular situation, I thought it was more platonic, more familial. Like that's the one thing that Gilgamesh and that I think Gilgamesh and Athena had
Cena,
was a
drop the
more
A.
yeah, Athena had was more of a familial aspect because he didn't abandon her, not for the more of a romance kind of thing, but just because that's the kind of family he was. He's like, I don't
Yeah,
care what anyone says. I'm gonna stay with you no matter what.
right.
You
It
know, we're in this
covers a type
together.
of love that is
Yes.
not like exclusively sexual, which is
Yeah, I
good.
thought it was more platonic, but the romantic side of was definitely Druid and
Druig,
oh
it
God,
has a G. He has a G, and Makari.
Makari. That to me was a romantic type of love. That was
Okay,
like the
yeah, I'll
you
give
know what I
that to you.
mean?
Yeah, I'll give that to you. Then we have
because that's when
Kingo, who is asexual.
self-love,
Oh my god. And
lo-
he's
love of
so
oneself.
he's so good at it. And he's like it's arrogant and not arrogant. It's like very confident.
Yes.
Like impressive and respectfully like confidence and self-absorbed. But I kind of wish that we had kind of given Sprite, because Sprite didn't have any kind of relationship. She was just kind of the child of the group for no real fucking reason. I kind of wish they had given her a non-binary they them approach and like
Yes,
really
but I don't think
included
the actor,
stuff.
right, but I don't think the actress is non-binary.
I mean, she's not, but they could have gotten somebody. There
They
are
could have.
non-binary actors and actresses, and
But I don't think the character itself is non-binary. I don't think Sprite herself is non-binary in the thing. But I do think that to round out the inclusion that Marvel has,
mhm.
they should include a non-binary character.
Yeah, which they're not
Oh,
gonna
okay.
do because they
No.
couldn't give us a gay Loki, a non-binary
Damn it.
Loki.
No. No, no, no. I yet gay Loki yet because I
Well,
swear if
they also
I want
didn't make him gender fluid.
no they didn't but they could. I mean technically he is gender fluid.
I mean,
um
technically, the character Loki and the deity that has inspired the Marvel Loki is gender fluid. I don't think Disney's ever gonna have the balls to actually do it. That's
mm.
why we got Sylvie.
Okay, so can I mention, because the loves that we were describing
Mhm.
actually reminds me of the different types of love according to ancient Greeks,
Yeah.
because we have eros, which is
Mhm.
the sexual erotic love.
Mhm.
You have ludus, which is playful love.
Mhm.
Pragma, which is the endearing love, which I think is between like
Gilgamesh and Thena.
Gilgamesh.
Okay.
Yes. Um, Philautia, 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 which is self love, which
Mhm.
Kingu has.
Absolutely.
Um, you have the mania, which is obsessive love, which is what Sprite had.
And
And
again, they
then
could have pushed that better.
they could have. You have the storage love. I can't pronounce
Storge
these. Yeah, which is the familial love, which I think Ajax had, because Ajax had this
was the
kind of,
mom. She was basically the
yes,
mom
and
of the group.
also yes, but also that and agape, which is the
Selfless love.
selfless love, which is the love towards all
Mm,
humankind.
no, I don't think Ajax really had that. I think
She
Cersei
she
actually had that. The selfless
Cersei
love.
had it. Cersei had it, but also Ajax was the one who was like, yeah, no, as much of a follower as I am to, I forgot his name, Big Baddie, not really Big Baddie, but
The
the God guy,
celestial.
the Celestial.
Mhm.
She was like, I'm going to defy the Celestial because I love humanity. And that was a learning point for Ajax herself.
I don't
And
think
that
it's
is why,
for a love of humanity. We get that she has noticed something very different about Earth than all the other previous ones that she has retained
mm,
her memory for.
oh, okay, also
So
fair.
she, like, I don't think she has agape. I genuinely don't. I think she's trying to protect the Earth because there is something significantly different about Earth than the other planets that she's been an
Ah,
Eternal
okay.
for.
That's a cute. That yeah, that makes sense.
Because
But I
we've
love
seen
that.
her try and approach the Celestial as like there's something different here, and she keeps
Right.
getting brushed off.
Ah, right, right, right. But I think that covers everything. I think we did Ludus, which is playful love, which is definitely Druid and
Yes,
um
absolutely. They are adorable because it's just like, oh, Ajax doesn't want us interfering. Well, Ajax doesn't want us stealing. It's like, you don't tell, I don't tell.
Yeah, the way that they play with each other, even when they meet each other for the first time, like after decades, and
Hmm.
like, do you miss me? And like all this stuff. It's that playful love that I love. I
I
love
do
that shit.
too. I think they're
The teasing, like
adorable.
they're so cute, absolutely cute. And
It's that
Druid
teenage
has,
kind of love too.
yeah, it's just like that teasing kind of friend love, that you
Right.
have with friends. But can I also mention that Druig did not respect anybody else other than
Makari.
um, Makari. He only saw Makari as his only equal, and he's like, "Fuck everybody else."
Which, I
And
mean,
that,
is legitimate. That's
yeah,
fair. And I think they would have had an easier time convincing Druig to join them if they had Makari.
that's true. That's true.
I also love how Makari is just a hoarder.
No, she's not really a hoarder. She's like hella smart. She's been educated. She has all these things that the books that she reads. Did you see how fast she read those books?
Do you see how fast she can run?
That's true. She was just like, I'm pretty sure one of the smartest um, characters in the entire film
So,
because of the knowledge she had. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna save the world because I'm bored. Because like, come on, I love her character. Makari's awesome. She's like, finally, something to cure my boredom. You're damn right, Makari. You're damn right. I know.
but can I just go ahead and say, because we've kind of alluded to the ending, we've kind of alluded to like the other side characters that are kind of important later on. Um, we have no idea what Earth we're on.
No, we're not. Yeah, I have no clue,
We
and they
have
don't hint
no
at it at
definitive
all.
information about where we are because with Shang-Chi, we had several indicators that we are not on the timeline that I personally have been following since 2009.
Yes, but also because we had an initial theory that, oh gosh, the rings that he was creating was Shang-Chi's rings.
Well,
That's not the
it
case.
does like we get that with Shang-Chi that those are like probably eternal created.
Yes.
That they are like an eternal, not necessarily weapon, but like technology.
Something that
It is
something
eternal
that I know
technology.
Fastos would have made. Yes. I know for a fact Fastos must have made it because he had the idea for rings,
Right.
or
And
bracelets or
it's like,
whatever.
it had a big moment where it's just like, oh, 10 rings, and we're knocking the shit out of each other's arms like idiots. Um,
Yeah.
but they ended up only with one, so it's like, what is
Yeah.
happening? What is going on here?
And that's what makes it curious. That's what makes me so curious about it.
My husband is like, oh, Shang-Chi's 10 rings make him an eternal. I'm like, that, an
I
eternal?
don't think so.
No, like I don't think so either. It's like we have an understanding. It was explained that it draws celestial energy on, and that's how they are powered. Yes, but that does not make Shang-Chi an eternal. It
No, because you
it
saw that the Eternals were created by the celestial being.
let
Like,
elaborate that a
and then
little bit more. They are basically not cyborg androids. They are
yes,
androids.
androids,
There's
yeah.
nothing like biological about them.
No. And that was shocking to hear, when, oh my God, when the celestial being called on Cersei and just explained everything to her. I was just like, hold up, my dude, this is too much. Like, first of all, not only are they not real, you've kept every single memory. How many times have they done this? All of this, so much just dumping on you. And I'm like,
Right.
my dude, my dude, you gotta hold up a second. I can't keep up. I can't keep up.
So I'm sure they've given like information that we, again, like with Dane, or Dean, or however you want to pronounce his name,
Dane. It's
Dane,
Dane. Yeah, Dane.
that it, if you're paying attention and you understand the MCU and all this stuff, you would know that we are not on Earth. Like when the Abomination showed up in
Oh,
Shang-Chi, that
yes.
would have been a big clue to people that we are not on our timeline right now.
No, we're not. And that's what makes it so interesting. I'm just super curious to know exactly. Hey, I'm curious to know how, and I think the multiverse of madness is going to just give us like a tie into everything, like a window to all of these worlds. And oh God, I can't wait. First of all, we're gonna deal. Well, actually, I lied.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be Spider-Man who's gonna clue us in, right?
I think it's going to be the start of everything. Because
Yes,
well, like,
agreed.
obviously the start was WandaVision and then led into Loki. We're getting confirmations that the MCU is definitely playing around with other timelines.
Yes, 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 yes.
And I'm not talking about like with What If and stuff. I am talking about like the
The
cinematic
multiverse.
universe is
Yeah.
now into a multiverse. And I think the first thing that we're going to end up seeing is probably correct because of the trailer will be Spider-Man.
Yes. When they're
Which
finally
is
gonna be
coming
like,
out in
okay,
December, by the way. Good
really?
ma'am. And you still have shit you gotta watch.
I do. I'm trying to get on this shit because I still haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and
Right.
I really need to. But like, hey, 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 hey. Sorry, my brat is acting like a brat.
What a surprise.
um, but yeah, no. I lost my train of thought.
You haven't seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You haven't seen Black Widow yet. You are gonna need to see it before we see Hawkeye, which is coming out in 2 weeks or like a week and a half at this point. Like you still haven't seen Far From Home, um, to be able to see No Way Home. So like
Mm-hmm.
you you got a lot to catch up on. And I
I
would
do.
start with Black Widow because Hawkeye is
Oh
coming up
yes,
so
that's
soon.
true. Mm-hmm.
And then you are gonna have to like sit your ass down and watch Far From Home at some point because you're gonna
I would watch Far From Home like more than any of the other films because I love the
um
Spider-Man films. And I was waiting because I was, my husband wanted to watch it with me, but I think he's not going to. He's not going to be able to keep up, right?
right because
So it's going to be up to me.
he was struggling to keep up with Shang-Chi in the theater and he just didn't
Yeah.
want to come with you to Eternals.
No, yeah. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep up, which is fine. I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea. Like that, and which is
Valid.
fair.
I had a friend
Which,
ask
yeah,
me if
completely.
I enjoyed Eternals. I'm like, I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. And then she asked, it's like, oh, should I go see it? I'm like, honey, you're like 5 years younger than me and have probably not been watching the MCU since 2009. So it's not a must see, but I'll let you know when it turns into a must see because that's how
Yes,
phase 4 is happening.
agreed. 'Cause you can't just jump in without knowing anything. Hey, get out of there. We're fighting. Um, yeah, no, like I think that's what I might not be into some of the films. Like, not every film is going to be perfect. I know
Right.
that. Like, not
Yeah.
every film, not every show, which is why I'm dragging my feet with Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I wasn't a big Captain America fan. Like, I like Bucky, but I know a lot of people who love Bucky, and I'm just like, he's cool. You know,
Yeah.
I liked that, and I'm just like, this chill. I loved Wanda. I
Yes.
loved her character. I like that's why I watched WandaVision. I really liked her character. Plus Vision, because I loved Vision more than anything.
Because
Vision's
Paul
character,
Bentley is amazing.
I love him. I love Vision. I remember when Vision was created, you know,
Yes.
I freaked the fuck out, loved his character. He picked up the fucking hammer like it was nobody's business. And I was like, that's it. I'm in love. I am in love. I understand why Wanda was in love. I understand why it hurts her deeply that he's no longer with us. I love him. 10 out of 10. I would do that, man. that robot sentient being. So of course I watched WandaVision. I fucking love Loki. I love Loki. I have never shipped Loki and Mobius so hard. Like I've never shipped a gay couple so hard in my life, you know. And hopefully because of what Fastos has done, people will be okay with Loki and Mobius. I'm
It's not,
getting
as Chelsea pointed out, it's like, we're, like, it, we didn't actually really get confirmed that Faustus and his quote unquote husband are actually married. We didn't get any confirmation about that
well, he said
because,
husband, so I'm gonna follow his words and saying husband.
okay. Um,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. It's the reason we don't get a lot of like LGBTQ representation like that is because Hollywood's biggest, like, I don't know, international, like, demographic is China. Like, bigger than, like,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So their viewers, like, even more so than America, is China. So
Yeah.
as long as China continues to be a stick in the mud, it's going to be real difficult to get any kind of representation.
I'm
So
trying to make sure because I think he said, I'm not going to leave my husband or my child. He didn't say partner or anything. I think he
I
said
don't think he
husband.
said husband. I just think he said family.
Hmm.
I think they kept it super ambiguous.
Everyone says that he, okay, so I'm looking at all the wikis and stuff like that. They're all mentioning husband.
I mean, because I've been mentioning husband too, but we have no confirmation on that. Oh no, Racy, we're gonna have to go watch it again. Oh no, how terrible.
I, I watch me. Hey,
We don't have to
come
go
there.
watch it in theaters. That's expensive. We can wait until it gets to
That, no,
Disney
I'm gonna
Plus.
wait. I'm gonna wait because I guarantee you, I thought he said my husband and my son or my child. Like, I don't think he just said family. But I also understand China could be, hey. So it turns out the gay kiss, because there was a gay kiss, that was not,
Mm-hmm.
that was something that was there, was censored. So they might have also censored the term husband,
Mm-hmm.
because they said in the Middle Eastern countries, a lot of Middle Eastern countries, the gay kiss was censored. But I love that it was not censored for us. And the fact that that happened made me very happy.
Yeah.
Because like that's such a normal thing. Like I would also kiss my husband if I was the savior of the world and it's going to be the end of the world, and like that pain.
Or just hear me out on this, okay? I'm just teasing about this. Or he could be kissing the homies goodnight.
They were and they were roommates.
And they were roommates. We're stupid.
Oh man! But hopefully this will allow, especially we as American audiences, we saw the kiss. He might have said husband, he may not, but I think he did. I definitely think so. So even if they kissed, that doesn't mean that Loki cannot kiss Mobius, right? Right.
He would
And I get the
absolutely kiss the homies goodnight.
oh my god, I
Absolutely.
want them to kiss because you know what Sylvie said to Loki. I'm sorry, we're going into Loki for a second, but the fact that he's like he cares deeply about you. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. And I love that, Sylvie had her kiss with Loki, but it wasn't really like a real kiss. It
Yeah,
was a kiss of
it was
betrayal.
a
It was Judas
manipulation.
kiss. It was a Judas kiss of betrayal.
Ah, Judas.
But I mean, again, I'm also open to that kind of relationship. I'm also open to a poly relationship because I love the character so much.
Right.
However, comma, Fastos, I love
I
his
loved
character so
him.
much. I
If
think
you
out of
really like this actor, I love this actor so much. You really need to
yeah,
go watch Godzilla vs. King Kong because he
I
is
will.
fucking hilarious in it, and I love it.
I will also say that Fastos to me was the most human.
Yeah. Even though Cersei was like
She loves
loved
humans.
humans, but she didn't
Yeah,
love them like Faustus did.
yeah. Faustus actually felt, I think, was more human.
Yeah.
Anyway, out of all of
I don't
them.
think he was more human. I just think he had a kinder heart.
Mm-hmm. Because he would have been just proud of his work, but then he realized there's something even more, something even worth more that he's proud of, and that's his son. Because you can see the same excitement when he talks about his son, or is engaging with his son, is the same excitement he does when he's working on these inventions and stuff.
Hmm.
It's, I don't know. I can go on and on about how I love Faustus's character, and if they ever did anything to him, I will burn down the entire fucking Marvel Studios, and then I will kill myself. Everyone,
I have a very concerning thought.
what?
It's just something like as you were talking, it kind of formed into my head, and I'm sorry. I love you
No.
dearly.
Okay, I'll take it.
Um, what if the child and the husband weren't human?
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
like it's a very
pretty human.
I was about to say it's like the fact that he has a husband, that he has a child with a family with these two humans. It's a very heartwarming thought, especially when it's been established through other characters that he has given up on humanity, and we know why because of Hiroshima. Um, so we, but what if he did actually give up on humanity and his companionship was this husband and child?
I don't think that would work, only because he said it was it was because of them that he fell in love with humanity again, and the only way he could have done that is if they were both human. And the
Or they
even
could be AIs that learned human, like were able
no,
to learn humanity and convey it
no.
to him.
Also, his husband, and I want to say husband because
Yeah, I
everyone's
know.
going to say he's
We're
the
just
husband.
gonna call him a husband.
Husband.
The
His husband
roommate.
said, yeah, they're roommates. No, his husband said, "Oh, you know what my mom would always say in this situation." So his husband also mentioned like his mother.
Right.
So that means Faustus was around his family, like that family. So I don't think that Faustus would create an AI with those synthetic memories. That's too much. That's way too
But
much.
he did
I do
build
think
a fallout bunker. His house is a fallout bunker.
no. The only reason why his house is a fallout bunker, because this is the thing. He said in the movie he didn't create anything else. He didn't want to use his powers, all of that, right? Because of what happened, because of the Hiroshima bombing. But the moment he had a family, the moment he had a husband and a child, he found something he wanted to protect. And he broke his promise to never create something and created something to protect his family. And that's how I know his deep love, maybe not even of just the whole of humanity, but just his family himself, slowly gaining that hope back of what humans can do. That I think was what's so important because it's starting small. He started with just his basic family, his immediate family. And I get that. Like he can say fuck the world,
Yeah.
but his family is part of that world. And I think his family, as humans, they cannot do this as AI. As humans, are showing him slowly even the minuscule amount of what good humanity is, like how good humanity can be.
But my question
And that's
is like
more than
if he
enough for
had
him.
given up on humanity, how did he end up meeting his husband?
You want to know?
They
Okay,
were
I actually
roommates.
thought about
But
this.
yeah.
No, no, I actually thought this. So in the theater, and I hope that this was like a deleted scene of their meeting because I want this to happen. Maybe they met in like some coffee shop. He was like some pissy kind of hate humanity. I want to get the fuck out of here. And then you see this guy, and he seems like a spiritual Arab kind of thing, who's like, my dude, why you got so much hate in your heart? And it is just, trying to talk like what's going on, connecting with him just as an individual, trying to figure out what's going on. And maybe his husband showed him the world in a more unique lights, something that he hasn't seen in a long time because of what happened, you know? And I think that, oh, good. Sorry, my bird is being a bird. I think that I wish they had a flashback of that moment of us seeing how he connected with that. But I don't think he's an AI. I get that there's theories that he could be, which is fair, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, if
I
you
think
want to
that's
take a
absolutely
dark
fair.
twist on this and actually take their word of
I will not
that,
do it. I will not take a dark twist on Fastos. I think he deserves the world. And
I
the dark
do.
twist was the fact that he created the atom bomb, and that's too much for anyone to handle. Like it's just too much. Like the destruction of the entire planet.
Fair.
And
Um,
I'm just like, give the guy a break. He deserves a break. But you know what? What one character we haven't talked about because he's an asshole?
Icarus.
Yeah, fuck Icarus.
Because he's a
Fuck
white
him.
man. Fuck him.
He's so whiny and like
I I
uh,
thought the actor did a great job with
I
him.
did too. The
Like,
actor, I love
honestly.
the actor. I love the actor because he made me hate the character. And you
Right.
know, not the actor. Like he made me hate the character, not the actor. And that's something that you can tell makes a good actor. You know, if you can make me hate
Or
this
it just
character so
means
much.
that you're like an emotionally intelligent person that understands the difference between a character and an actor. Unlike
Well,
some
yeah,
people.
obviously. Oh no, no, I get it.
Yeah, because it's
But
like
no, he
there
was
have
good.
been so many people like hate on like Chris Pratt for a character's decision in like Infinity War.
Wait,
Like,
really? Are you
yeah,
kidding me?
because like he punched like
Oh,
because Star-Lord punched Thanos and they weren't able to get the glove off Thanos because of that. People shat on him for ages about that. And it's like,
oh my God, are you
cool.
serious?
Chris Pratt has no say over that. Chris Pratt did not make that choice. That was a Star Lord choice to do that. They all like another thing is uh what's his face? One second. There. Wyatt Russell, who plays a very important character in The Falcon and Winter Soldier. People like continue to shit on him because of his
Are you kidding
portrayal.
me?
Uh-huh. Because of his portrayal. And I'm like, man, this actor is fucking good because like I hate this character so fucking much.
Yeah,
And
because
I
that's the
love
thing.
hating this character, so thank you.
I was gonna say if they if people cannot differentiate the actors versus the actual characters, then what kind of world do they want to live in? A world where there's no villains? Because that's not the real world.
Right. Well, I don't think
Like
they want to acknowledge the real villains in our world. If they
that's so
acknowledge,
dumb.
well, like think about like I hate to take this a little political, but think about it.
Mhm.
Like we have had a former president that like idolizes like North Korea and Russia and
Mhm.
China, and those are not, I mean, like, we don't have to, like, villainize, like, every single country or every single person in the world, but, like, we as Americans have to admit, like, how those countries are run are do not line up with our ideals as Americans
Mhm.
or our,
Mhm. Mhm.
like, taught philosophy as Americans. So why is our leader, the leader of the free country, idealizing these people? And
Yeah,
they can't accept that.
that's fair. That's a good take.
So it's like if they accept that this fictional character is a fictional character and that this actor has no say in this, then they're probably never going to actually realize what a real villain is.
Mm. That's sad, but that's I can see that. I can see that.
And like we have a mutual friend that has had opinions about Johnny Depp playing Grindelwald. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I'm very confused about it because I'm like, so what? Do you want like a very hateful person to be paid to play a hateful
Yeah.
person? Do you want to
Is that what you
financially
want?
support like a hateful person? Or can you just accept that sometimes a good person has to play a bad character?
Yeah.
Like I'm very confused about that kind of stance because
Right.
they equate Grindelwald from the Fantastic Beast universe, sorry to derail, as
Mm-mm.
Wizard Hitler. And I'm like,
Yes.
so you're gonna shit on a good person or like we're not gonna say Johnny Depp is a flawless person, but it's just like he is a decent person. We'll go ahead and say that he's a decent, at least perceived a decent person. So you're gonna hate on this person for playing a terrible character, but you're not going to say anything when Hitler is portrayed, an actual Hitler is portrayed in movies. You're not going to hate on those actors for playing Hitler, or you're not going to
Exactly.
like what. I'm confused as to why you have that kind of opinion.
Right. I think there's just some people who will just won't be able to differentiate fantasy from reality.
Right.
You know, they think that, oh, you played this character, you must be like this character. Not
Right.
true. Not true. I highly doubt that the people who played as the Eternals are actual like AI, sentient being, robots, artificial intelligence. No, you wouldn't walk up to fucking them and be like, "Hey, are you actually real?" Hell no. That doesn't work like that. World doesn't
Yeah.
work like that.
Like, are
But
you
I
actually
get
an
what you mean.
immortal that's over 7,000 years old?
Yeah, like, are you really here to save the world from the Titan that's living in our Earth's core?
Like, are you gonna like can you like create illusions and fly and shoot lasers out of your eyes? Like what?
Superman.
Yeah, I know. So we're
Yeah,
at
sorry, Icarus. Icarus.
oh my bad. Also, it's like the boys.
No, yes, also the boys. I love. Yeah, I love that show.
I
It's
think
intense. I have to like. It's hella intense, but I get it. Um,
I liked Icarus. Like I like what they did with Icarus. Like I think the actor is very handsome. I'm sorry. He's
oh, he is.
extremely handsome to me. He reminded
Yes, he
me
is.
of like a relative of Sebastian Stan, who plays Bucky Barnes, the Winter
Right.
Soldier. They look so similar. They have to be relatives. I know they're not, but they have to be relatives. But he
I
really
have.
reminded me. I've never seen this show. I should. He reminds me of that like main character from The Boys on
He
Amazon
is very.
Prime
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that I understand to be not a good person.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like
they have their own reasons, but yes, like
right.
it's one is completely devoted to his purpose of, I mean, that's Icarus,
Mhm.
and the other is just completely devoted to himself, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, but Icarus, I actually loved his character because you knew the moment I was like, I whispered to you in the theater, I was like, I'm just gonna put a theory out there. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And I was right. I was so right. But
Yeah.
it made it even better because I was conflicted, just like he was conflicted
Mhm.
because of his romance. He was so into his purpose, he even killed for it, right?
Yeah.
But the moment like his love was tested, he realized, yeah, he appreciated Cersei more than he appreciated like his spirituality to or his purpose of destroying the world.
He
He
ain't
loved her
dead,
more
by
than
the
that.
way.
No, I don't think he's dead either. But he
That was
loved
a
her more than
Superman
that.
move.
Yeah. But I was just like, I the fact that he recognized that, even if it was at the very end, he recognized that
Yep.
in
It's like he
himself that
fought
his
everybody
love.
tooth and nail, was willing to kill all of his friends. But as soon as he had to face Cersei and make that choice to stop her, he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. He loved her too much.
And that was just
Um,
so good. Um,
the way that it, can I just say,
mhm,
his facial expressions of his realization was what I knew made him a great actor.
mhm,
Like, I don't forgive him, fuck him because he killed Selma Hayek, but
right,
his acting was so superb
right.
that I'm just like, because even throughout the film, I knew he did it. He was the one who did it. I don't trust him. But the way he acted towards Cersei made me think, oh no, wait, maybe he is a good person. No, wait, no, I can't think that because he's probably going to betray her in the end. You know, all this
Right.
stuff. It was very conflicting. And I know that's how I love the actor because if you can make me feel those feelings, you're a fantastic actor. 10 out of 10.
He
Like,
was so good at it. It was so good.
yes, it was great. It was so great. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So
Um,
we're getting close to the end.
yeah, I was about
Do
to say,
you
we
want to
probably need to
talk
talk
about
about
the
the
end?
ending. Yes.
Yes. So, Kit Harington,
So,
we've been alluding to
um,
being someone more than just Cersei's human love interest.
yes,
Um,
Dane Whitman.
Dane Whitman, and he has a post-credit scene. Not like Eternals has two scenes post movie, one mid-credit, one post-credit.
Yes.
Dane's is the post-credit. Um, you did the research on him. Do you want to kind of give the rundown of what you found?
Yes. So, as we were looking, the post-credit scene,
Mm-hmm.
um, what is it? Dane, Jon
Yes.
Snow
Jensen,
opened this box. Jon Snow
which
opened this box.
the box
Wi-
had the crest of the signet ring, his signet ring that he had.
Yes. Yes. And there was like this special sword that was whispering to him and was
Oh,
doing all this magicy shit and stuff. But do you want to know who was whispering? Do you want to tell them who was
okay,
whispering
but here's
to?
the thing. Here's the thing. That wasn't the sword whispering to him. I should have been paying attention. Oh, it was uncredited. That's what it was. He
It was
was.
uncredited. It was uncredited.
So
Yep.
when we were looking at cast on Friday, we came across this couple of things that it's just like, oh, why is Angelina Jolie all the way at the beginning? Why is Kit Harington all the way at the front of the thing? Like that's I
Yes.
get that he's like a big actor because of Game of Thrones, but Brad needs to be lower down the list. And why are you revealing who he is? Good people. Also, why is Harry Styles at the very beginning? Excuse you.
Wait, wait, no, 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 no. I was gonna say something about that. We're gonna put a pin on Harry Styles for a second, okay?
Okay.
Dane Whitman.
But I'm looking, we get to the end, I'm like, okay, I recognize this actor. Why do I know him? Oh, okay, I know him from Twilight. Oh, I recognize this actor. Where was he in this movie? Oh, that's where it was. It's whatever. Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
MCU does not double cast at all. Like, there was a character in Captain Marvel that like I saw him and I'm like, he's a bad guy. I am very confused as to why he is here if he is a bad guy in an earlier movie but later in the timeline. What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on? And then it was like, oh, okay, so he's still a bad guy. That tracks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They do not MCU does not double cast at all. Mahershala Ali, I have known for what, Ricey? Almost 2 years?
Mm.
Because I told you I lost my shit over this.
Yes.
Was cast and is confirmed
Yep.
to be the MCU, not just a Marvel, but the MCU's Blade.
Yep.
And so apparently it is uncredited that he is Blade talking to Kit Harington's character Dane. And it's like, oh, we get confirmation for Blade, and I am excited. I love
Yes, I'm
Mahershala
so excited.
Ali. He was in Spider-Man Into the
Spider-Man
Spider-Verse
into
as
the
Uncle
Spider-Verse.
Aaron. He was in
Yeah.
TV series and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna be sad that we're not getting Wesley Snipes, but Wesley Snipes has his own, so it would have to just. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Honestly, just it was fantastic. Just fantastic. But the reveal is Dane Whitman is going to be the Black Knight
Mm-hmm.
in the MCU. Um, and the sword is called the Ebony Blade.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what was so important. Like he touched the sword, it turns out it was the Ebony Blade. There was a history. We don't know much more about it. I've heard of Moon Knight, and I think I've heard of Black Knight, but I don't know much about them, you know?
Right.
So it was like interesting to find, oh shit, so this is going to be another character that they're introducing. But
Right.
not only did they introduce this character, in the mid credit scene, they introduced fucking Harry Styles. And you wonder, what the hell is Harry Styles, the singer of One Direction, doing in a Marvel film? Turns out he's playing Eros, right?
Well,
Yes,
elaborate, because we do have gods, technically.
yes.
And
But
so,
he's technically Thanos' brother. Fucking Harry Styles with Pip, I think was his name.
yes, it
Like
was
the
Pitt,
little,
was Pat Oswalt's
yes.
voice. Okay, but you
And
need
fucking
to
he's gonna be
clarify.
Thanos' brother. Oh my god. You can clarify. I was just like,
He's an eternal.
yes.
He is an eternal. He is the eternal
Yeah.
Eros. So, as y'all can tell, there is a running theme with the Eternals is that they are, well, Olympians, because that's what they've
Yes.
been told that they are Olympians.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we get Harry Styles as like a superhero Eros.
Mm-hmm.
I have I'm not mad about it. I think he looks very appropriate to be a superhero Eros.
But I saw him and I heard the people like freaking out behind me and I was like, oh God, it's him. And like I don't maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm biased because I just know him from One Direction.
Mm-hmm.
All I can see him is that guy from One Direction. Kind of like all people could see what was his name. And I mentioned this to you. Um all people could see his name is drawing a blank. He was going to be playing Batman, who
Oh,
was in Twilight.
Rob Patterson.
Robert Pattinson, yes. Like only people can see him as the guy from Twilight. Like I can only see Harry Styles as One Direction. I don't know why.
I
I haven't
never
seen him as an
really
actor.
listened to One Direction, and so it's like he popped up, and I'm like, oh, okay, don't know who he is.
Yeah. I was like,
And
I know exactly
then
who
when
he
we
is.
were looking up characters, I was like, what the fuck, Harry Styles? You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
Eros. Oh,
It's like fucking Harry Styles. And he in the Google search was the in front of everybody.
yeah.
And he was only there for like a second. Like he had two lines.
He was the mid credit scene, and he wasn't even in there the entire time. He was there right at the
No.
end.
I was so mad when I saw that and like the actor portrayals, and I was like, "You don't deserve that spot, sir. Good sir, you do not deserve that spot."
No, he does not, and I have opinions about that. It's like I kind of I need you to watch Falcon Winter Soldier because I got to talk to you about shit. But it's like this is
Yeah,
not the first time that Google and Disney slash Marvel have fucked around with the lineup. But I'm like, so you get Harry Styles uncredited,
uncredited.
then
Yeah.
you get Angelina Jolie as Athena. All right, that's fine. She's a huge name. That's okay. Kit Harington as the Black Knight.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, just completely ruined that.
Whoop, my bad.
It's like, what the fuck? What is going on? I
I
They can pay me to keep
Chaos
track of
in
that
one.
shit, and I will like be on top of it.
Yeah, no, it was honestly it was awful. Like I mean, a good way. Like, but And I get why people are so excited for Harry Styles because it's Harry Styles,
It's
and
Harry Styles. They can be excited about it. Like I was very
yeah,
excited about Angelina Jolie being in the
yeah,
Eternals.
hmm
Like so, it's people can be excited. They have the right to be excited.
they have every right to be excited. But I'm just like, maybe I'm gonna and this is terrible of me. I'm probably gonna put him under a microscope in his terms of his acting, because I'm like, let's see how good you're gonna act as Eros,
Well, has he had any
as
previous
part of the
acting experience?
I've seen his filmography or his stuff, and there's not a lot.
So like I can be a little bit more lenient with him because it's like we get
No,
yes, because we get WandaVision and we have like this new actress coming up as Monica Rambeau, and it's like this is her first big role. We get Sylvie, and this is like like I can be a
oh
little bit
yeah,
more lenient with these new people being brought into this huge universe, now multiverse of the
Mhm.
MCU. So I can be a little bit more lenient with Harry Styles, but if he fucks up a role, then he fucks up a role.
Yeah,
If he
and
makes
I
a
think he
small
will be under.
mistake, that's okay, but if he fucks it up,
I
then
feel
that's
like he's going to
different.
be under more scrutiny because he's already a famous person.
I mean,
I
fair.
think that's what's coming. Yeah,
And that's okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
But
not going to help in that. I think I'm going to put him under more scrutiny myself because I'm just picky with that. Like,
so
just
why are
picky with
new
that.
people or why are like you didn't seem that there were several trailers before Eternals played. So you're very picky about, let's say, Harry Styles, but you're not going to be very picky about Lady Gaga and the House of
No,
Gucci? Why?
no, not in the house because I saw her acting in um, American Horror Story.
And were you
Like that was her. The first time I saw her acting under American Horror Story, I put her under the same scrutiny, and I thought she was fantastic, but she could have been better in American Horror Story.
I feel
So
like
yeah,
American Horror Story, like what season was she in?
she was in whatever the one with the hotel, American Horror Story Hotel.
Wasn't that an earlier season?
No, I think it was season 4 when Jessica Lange
So like a mid
left.
series season.
Yes.
So
And like
like American
the
Horror Story was starting to like its writing was starting to go downhill after a while.
I'm not saying in terms of writing, I'm saying in terms of because she was portraying a vampire. And I was like, okay, you know what? Starting in a show, I think that'd be a good start, right?
Yeah.
Starting in a show. And then she was in a film, which actually blew my mind. You can see her um, transforming into a better actress. And it was the one with, hold up. I think it won, or hold up. Let me see if I can find it. It wasn't that one. It was, hmm, A Star is Born. That's what it's called. So Lady Gaga was in A Star is Born, right?
Mhm.
And apparently she was in Machete Kills, but you know, we're gonna just look over that. But she was in A Star is Born, and that one I think won awards. As because of her acting portrayal. And I saw bits and pieces of that movie. I didn't fully like see the whole thing,
Mhm.
but I actually thought her character, it was miles away from what she was in American Horror Story. She greatly improved, like especially in some of those like heartbreaking scenes, right?
Mhm.
Killed it. Killed it. So yeah, I think that she did well in starting in a show and slowly getting her acting chops. And then A Star is Born is made. That's why I am not worried about her in Gucci. I'm not, because I've seen her acting. Harry Styles, on the other hand, I haven't seen his acting. He didn't act in a show or anything. This is the first role I've ever seen him in, right?
Right, but we're
So
not
I
guaranteed
want
that
to put
he's going to have a major leading role or an integral part to anything. Because with
doesn't matter.
Lady
I'm just gonna still put him under the same scrutiny as I did Lady Gaga, straight up. And like, and I adore Lady Gaga as a musician. And even if you've seen her music videos, they're incredibly theatrical. She's an incredibly theatrical person. If you just ever see her in like her earlier years, she's
Mm-hmm.
always loved the theater. She's always loved showing. She's always loved the art of just, I guess, portraying the display of everything. And I
I don't
respect
think
her as
it's
an artist for that.
portraying. I think it's the experience. I think she's just in
Yes,
love with an experience.
yes. And she does that very well in her music videos, which, when you translate it to something that isn't really hers, like American Horror Story, it's not really hers. She had to act in someone else's vision. Eh. But everything else, bruh, she's been fantastic in. That's why I'm not worried about her. Harry Styles, though, it's going to be like phase one. Okay, Harry Styles, let's see what you got. Let's see what you can bring to the table. And if he surprises me, just like, Lady Gaga does, then I will be like, okay, you deserve to be here. But every other, like you said, up and coming star in like WandaVision,
Mm-hmm.
or up and coming star, like Sylvie in Loki,
Mm-hmm.
they were born actors. They studied this. They did this. That's why I'm like, I'm not worried. That was what they were in there for in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Seeing musicians transform into the acting role, it's so, same with actors who transform into singing roles. It's like there's a weird divide. You know what I mean? Like some of them are hit or miss. Miley Cyrus struck gold because her show, you can see she acted in Hannah Montana, and she's a great singer. So of course her transition to becoming a
I mean,
solo
but she's
artist.
also has like
Smooth.
experience with that. She has her dad,
Yeah.
that's Billy Ray Cyrus, and then her
Hmm.
godmother is Dolly Parton.
That's true.
Um, so like she has experience and exposure and feedback and support for that,
Hmm.
where she
That's
could
true.
be a musician.
And she's great. She's made her mistakes, but I'm rooting for her. Anyway,
Hey, it's time.
that's yeah. I'm just like, we're gonna end it with Harry Styles because
He should be at the
mm,
end, not the beginning.
he should, yeah, he should be at the end and not the beginning.
Mm,
But I am excited. I am excited to see how he's gonna be. I'm just gonna be kind of critical, just like I was with Lady Gaga. I'm just gonna be kind of critical,
mm-hmm.
seeing him in a role. But I am excited. I am excited to see what he's gonna bring to the table.
Right.
And Pip is amazing. 10 out of 10 for Pip.
Uh, yeah, Pip, he's super easy. Isn't it, Peter Oswalt? Is
Is he?
it? Hang on. Eternals. Guest
Yeah, Pip the Troll, the Eternals,
is Patton Oswalt. My bad. Sorry.
Patton Oswalt,
I'm
yeah,
like Peter. Peter doesn't sound right. Patton Oswalt.
who's done so many voices and been in so many roles.
Mm-hmm.
Great man. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to talk about this film because there's so much that we didn't even cover most of the plot. Like,
Do we ever cover plot?
well,
Eh, eh,
eh.
eh. That's what I
You
thought.
should. Okay, would you recommend um would you recommend our listeners to view it in theaters, or would you recommend them wait to view it?
Um,
That's our final review.
that's a kind of a complicated question. We are still in a global pandemic. Not all places are safe to go and see a movie in theaters. Not all theaters are very clean. Um, I am someone that, especially with a Marvel movie, I want to watch with the audience because the
Yeah.
audience makes it better. I've always
Hmm.
said that I love an audience experience as a theater person. Um like watching it with you and like us losing our shit together was so much more fun than if I had just gone and seen it with my husband. Because he doesn't like get hyped up. Like there was when Black Knight was trying to tell Cersei like, "Oh, yeah, I have this like big family secret and things like
Yes.
that. Like I need to like tell you about." We're like, "Oh, what's it going to be?" We didn't really know
Oh
what was
my
going to happen.
God.
We just knew that something was
No.
happening. We're like, "Oh," and then it's like cliffhanger and it's like, "God damn it." So it
Oh
was
my
like
God. We
a
were pissed.
lot more fun with you than if it was with just my husband. Um,
I'm, I'm a very expressive person. So, of course, I would be like, fuck you and your cliffhangers and and of
um,
course, and the final credit scene where he's like walking up to it, touches the box, looks like he's about to open it, and then he turns around and walks away. I was like, don't you fucking do that to me. Don't you fucking do that to me. I was like, they got me good. They got me good.
um, but what, like, if you can go see it in theaters, if you have been watching all of the MCU stuff since like the very beginning, or you've been phase two and just deeply in love with Marvel, go see it on the big screen.
Hmm.
It's enjoyable, but if you can't, if you don't feel safe going out, if you don't have friends to go with you, if you don't have the money to go see it, then just go watch it on Disney Plus when it comes to Disney Plus. There's nothing wrong with that. Just you will need to eventually see it. Like I told my friend who asked me if she should go see it, I know she's not a huge Marvel person. I know she's not a huge superhero person. I know she hasn't been watching Marvel since 2009. She doesn't have to go see it. Like I personally told her it's like I will tell you if it ends up being important for a movie later on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But it's likely to be important for a movie later on because that's how Phase
yeah,
4 is behaving.
yeah. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Anywho, I guess that's everything
Yep.
wrapped up.
Who the fuck is you?
Oh, I am a bowl of ricey. You can find me at a bowl of ricey. I would actually put it over here. And I'm just gonna stick with a bowl of ricey for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where can they find you? Twitter?
Yes. At the same
Instagram?
name, a bowl of ricey. And Instagram being Bestos cosplay, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. Instagram, we're gonna put a pin on that. Twitter and Twitch, I'm a bowl of ricey. It's in the chat. But yeah, and who are you?
I'm at Mickey Ree. You can find me. I'm the one that just put the hearts. You can find me on Twitter, all over the place. I don't stream outside of our podcast, but you can catch me playing with like a bowl of ricey or Chelsea the Destroyer or even Orange Streams, with a variety of things from Phasmophobia to
Hmm.
Splatoon to Mario Kart 8. Um, Playing with those guys when they stream. Um, but you can find both of us here at What's Your Opinion
Yes.
podcast. And
Yes.
What's Your Open 10 is our Twitter where you can find us and give us feedback and let us know what topics
Hmm.
you're wanting to hear about um, over on Twitter. And you can also see when we go live there.
Yes.
Sometimes, not always. We're not the best about it. Sometimes it's very last minute. But
Yeah.
we try. We're not
We
professionals.
do try.
We, we never claim to be professionals. We're just here for a good time.
Exactly.
But yeah, you gotta go, don't you, miss? You gotta go be an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah. I do have to go be an adult. So I hope you guys have a fantastic week,
Yee.
and we will see you next week with a new topic. Till
What
then,
it is, we don't know.
yeah. But until then, we hope you guys stay safe and
Yes.
take care of each other,
Mm,
all that good stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.